Hey everyone, Ready Rex here, and today we're going to be talking about AWOLNATION's newest album, The Phantom 5. This came out August 30th, not that long ago, and you know it caught me a bit by surprise. I wasn't keeping up enough with AWOLNATION, I guess, because I didn't realize it was coming out this soon. I kind of figured there was an album coming up, given that they just released two singles, Panoramic View, Jump Sit Stand March. I don't know if there's any singles past that. I do know that those two were singles though, and I enjoyed both of those. I was kind of left confused on where the album was going direction-wise, because Panoramic View sounded a bit like some of the songs from Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders, specifically the one with Weezer, Pacific Coast Highway in the movies, something like that. For me, it kind of was reminiscent of that. So I was thinking, is this going to be more like that album, or are we going somewhere else? Because Jumps at Stand March seemed to be a slight step in a different direction. But I think once I've actually listened to this album, it definitely feels sort of like a part two to Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders. Thematically, definitely different. Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders had a very clear theme of Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders. How many times am I going to say that? It's like a tongue twister. I feel like that theme was very clear. This one I think is a little less clear, but sound wise it sounds very similar for a lot of the songs. I think if anything, this one might be a bit more in the pop direction versus that album, and a little less heavy on some of the rock bits. But there's still a lot of rock in this one. There's a lot of alternative as per usual. If you like AWOLNATION, this is an album that you're going to like from AWOLNATION. Surprise, surprise. I feel like in general their albums have been pretty similar. I think it definitely took a different direction after Run, and then for 7 Sticks of Dynamite, is that what that album's called? No, Here Come the Runts, my bad. For Here Come the Runts, that sound was definitely different, but at the core it was still AWOLNATION. And then he moved on to Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders. Again, definitely different, but core AWOLNATION for sure. With some of the screaming, you get the rock, the heavy rock bits, a little bit of pop and alt thrown in there. So this one though feels like it's more in line with Angel Miners and the Lightning Riders. That's what I'm getting to. Overall, I'd say this was a pretty good album. Definitely not my favorite, but I still really enjoyed it. I think if I had to choose some favorite songs, it would probably be Jump Sit Stand March, Party People, and Bang Your Head. I'd say that's a good 3 for me. I really enjoyed all those songs. And it's crazier too, because if you know me, I'm not usually super fond of super repetitive songs. When it comes to AWOLNATION though, I don't know how they do it, but I end up liking the songs a lot anyways. I think that's just because of how catchy the repetitive bits are. Like, Party People is incredibly repetitive, and so is Bang Your Head, and like I said, I really enjoyed both of them. Just something about how they're produced and how they're sang. It reels me in, and it just keeps me listening. And I think it helps too that the songs aren't made super long. They're kept pretty short, and that's pretty much how this whole album goes. It feels like they're all, I don't want to say short, but down the middle. There's none that really get super long. The longest is Out of Here, and that's only 5 minutes. Other than that, they kind of sit around, probably average around 3:30. I think that's a good song length. So I'm really happy about that. The album, though, the album is their shortest album they've actually put out, which I thought was interesting. I feel like their albums have been getting shorter and shorter, because this is by far the shortest album. And that leaves me a little disappointed, because I do wish there's more songs in there. But I think it's actually similar to how I think the songs are a good length. I think the album did turn out to be a good length. If it was any longer, it might feel a bit too long, just because I think the songs, they don't sound the same, but I think like the sound that is reminiscent throughout the album, if it kept on going too much longer, you know, I don't know if I get bored of it necessarily, but it might be a little too much. So yeah, I think it's overall good length. Feels more like an EP though. But after all that, I still hope that AWOLNATION actually goes into a different direction with their next album. Not because I dislike the sound, I really like some of the experimental nature that AWOLNATION goes with in some of their music. Like Nights of Shame from their first album, I really love that song, and it still might be one of their most experimental songs. I like when they get more experimental with it. I have a feeling this one's probably not going to be a fan favorite of like a good portion of their listeners, but also I'm not super in tune with the AWOLNATION fan base, so who am I to say? To me though, it definitely feels like actually, when I think about it, this might be my least favorite AWOLNATION album. It's not bad, like I said. I just think I just liked the other ones a lot more. I think some of the songs were more unique, and I think there's more of them that I really, really, really liked. Well, this one, it's like, I like pretty much every song, but there's not as many that I really, really, really like. Sorry if this is a bit out of order, out of place with how I'm talking about it, but I'm just kind of speaking off the top of my mind when I'm thinking about this album. So yeah, good album. I'm hoping for more variation with their next one, and dare I say a little longer. I don't want to complain too hard about that though, because I'm just happy to be getting new music from AWOLNATION. They're pretty consistent at putting music out that I enjoy. Even if it's not my favorite, I still tend to really, really like their music, so that's always cool. And anyways, I'll leave it there. Check out the album if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts about the album. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below and subscribe. That super helps out the channel. And if you really, really enjoy this video and want to support the channel even more, you can check out this hat and other merch items in a link down below in the description. I will see you later. Bye-bye.